I know. Ooh, there's a whole lot of what the fuck going on today in the show for numerous reasons. One, some headlines, and two, we're going to dive deep into some sports, and there's some great audio to go with it. Can't wait to jump into it. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at me. I am so excited. So excited. Anyway, thanks for joining the show. What's up? It's DeHuff. It's another episode of DeHuff Uncensored. Make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. And remember, today's show is brought to you by Bet Online. In fact, Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. And if you think you know your stuff, you need to get in on Bet Online's $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every single week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of that $200,000. Now, when the games are all over, head on over to their online casino, get in on the game of blackjack or poker, or even unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Go to betonline.ag right now to get in on the action. It's Bet Online. The game starts here. And speaking of starting, listen, I feel like I'm moving really fast right now. Like I'm moving at an incredible rate, Harry. I feel like I'm what's his name? Lloyd Christmas in Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey's character, when they're in the van and he's like, we're moving at it feels like I'm moving at an incredible rate, Harry. So stop it. That's what I feel like my brain's doing right now. It's just I'm standing still, but I feel like I'm going really, really fast. Okay, anyway. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know what's wrong with my noggin. You don't, but you do need to know we're jumping into the mailbag.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
We brought this lady up before when she first announced that she was going to sleep with 600 people this year. Her name's Annie Knight. She's an OnlyFans star. That's shocking. That's shocking that she's doing this, for her OnlyFans account. And she's making sick bank on it. So she said that she was pledging to sleep with 600 people, like I said. But we need to get an update on where she's at. So with the latest update on her situation, here's Connery DeHuff. Yes, as it stands right now, this saint of a woman is right around 200 bangs away from meeting her goal. She says it's not easy work. Some days she bangs 5 people, then takes several days off due to lack of interest. That's Connery. That's actually kind of interesting. And it kind of makes me think you passed away several years ago. Does this woman make you envious of the living? You know what, Scotty? Not really. I'm banging nonstop up here. Big names, too. In fact, a little side note, I banged Joan of Arc a couple weeks ago. A tad aggressive for me, but you know what? Oddly enough, I liked it. Wow, that's fascinating. In fact, Scotty, I was banging during this entire report. All right, Connor, you're done. You're done. Hey, say hello to your mother for me. Okay. My goodness. Thank you, Connery. I'm reading some snippets from an interview with this lady who's planning on having sex with 600 individuals by year end. We're in September, and she's right around 200 away. She doesn't give the official number, so I don't know, give or take what, but I mean, that's a lot. That's asking a lot of your body. It can't be good for you. And the fact that like there's times where she's just like, dude, I just don't want to do it. But then she's saying that like she'll bang up to 5 dudes in one day. Like, that's a lot of wear and tear. Here's what she needs to have lined up after the fact. She needs to have one of those surgeries lined up for next year. And she needs to go celibate for all of next year. 2025, nothing goes in. Nothing goes. No entry. No entry there. And she needs to have that surgery where it tightens you up. Don't you think? Like a little gift to herself because let's be honest, ladies, I got a lot of ladies listening and you can kind of understand. That's a lot of stretching out in that. I know that sounds way too graphic, but you know what I mean? That's the reality of the situation. It's going to be stretching things out. I think she needs to do herself a favor and one take the year off next year of, or maybe I don't know, let's be crazy. Let's cut down the number of people that she has interactions with to 10 or below. How about that? Criminy. That being said, she's got to be amazing at it by the end because she's talking also about like she's not just laying there doing nothing. She's like interacting, like she's like full on like giving giving A for effort. Like she's going for it. She might be the best lady out there for having sex. I don't know. It's not like you can really rate it, but she's gonna she she might go in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if there is a Hall of Fame for it. I certainly wasn't invited, but good for her, I guess. I guess. It's such a weird thing. I feel weird even talking about it, to be honest. But yeah, let's be honest. That's like a lot of wear and tear. That's like driving your car around, the globe like 20 times. That's what she's doing, right? You expect the tires to be holding up? Fuck, the engine's just gonna be jacked up in there. Better get some fucking oil changes. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I feel dirty. I feel dirty. Let's move on. This is interesting. A Tom Cruise. It came out that what the terms were for him doing those closing ceremonies for the Paris Olympics. I didn't think he did as spectacular of a job, you know, as he could have, but he still did a lot more than I could ever do. Rappelling down from the top of the stadium, riding his motorcycle, and going wee, doing his stuff. Right? It it was cool, but not as spectacular as I thought it could have been. But anyway, that's me being a judgmental dick. The info came out about what his demands were in order to do it. And he did it for free, which is pretty neat. Pretty cool that he did that. But his terms were I'll do it and I'll do it for free, but I got to be able to do my own stunts and no stunt doubles. And I'm like, that's okay. That makes it a little bit more badass. He's like, yeah, I want to do it. Because I guess they were pitching the idea to him and they're like 5 minutes into the pitch. And he's like, hold on. First of all, remember, I'm fucking Tom Cruise. Second, I'll do it. But I got some demands. One, I want a jar full of peanuts, but they got to be peanut M&Ms with, just the yellow ones. Okay. I'm weird that way. And then also just regular peanuts around it, but not too many. It's got to be a one peanut for every 3 peanut M&Ms. And then my last demand is I want to do it, but I got to do it I'll do it for free, but I do all my own stunts. They're like, I don't know, Tom. The stunt thing's fine, but the peanuts and the peanut M&Ms, that's a little too aggressive for us. Anyway, they ended up conceding, and then they did it. I think that's pretty neat. Good for him. But it reminds me of, if you haven't seen it, if you're looking for a good action movie that's kind of funny, I guess it's a rom-com. I'm not really sure. But Fall Guy was pretty freaking good with, who's it? Emily Blunt, who's amazing. And also Ryan Gosling, who's amazing. Okay. They did a great job. He's funny in it. She's funny in it. It's just good. Okay. It's a good movie. A lot of action and I don't know. But it also makes you really appreciate the stunt teams for movies because you kind of forget about it in the sense. It's just it's part of the movie. explosions, jumps, car rolls, stuff like that. And you're like, that was good. That was crazy. But you don't think about what goes into it and who's in the middle of it, who's in the thick of it. So it's a good movie. It kind of gives you a peek behind the scenes. And what's cool is after the movie, during the credits, they show a lot of those scenes that looks like Ryan Gosling's doing it. They show his stunt double doing it and other stunt doubles doing stuff. And it's just, I think it's cool. It's a cool peek behind the curtain of how movies are actually made. And it's fascinating. Something that we tend to forget about. Kind of going back into the sex realm. Because why not? Okay? Why the freak not? Michele, I don't know how to say her last name. It's Köbke. Spent years in a sexual relationship with a Boeing 737-800. We actually, again, we talked about her not too long ago. But she has since broken up with the airplane. And this popped up in a couple different places. I don't know how recently they broke up. Don't at me, be like, this happened like 6 months ago. And this is old news. Let me take out my retainer. Shut up. I don't care. It's just fun to talk about people banging planes, okay? We talked about that dude that was in a sexual relationship with his car. That's so bizarre. How do you handle that as a family member? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a parent, one of the greatest things is you kind of fantasize about one day walking your daughter or, your son down the aisle and you know, giving them away and letting them and being a part of their journey's beginning essentially as a spouse. You kind of that rolls through your mind. But if your kid is banging a plane or any inanimate object, that's just it's got to be hard on you as a parent. And I know it's just like, well, they're happy. They are. They are. Okay? And they're not hurting anybody. Unless that tailpipe's hot. Woo! Better step away from that one. Son, let daddy give you some advice. Don't be go sticking your willy in a hot tailpipe. That thing is gonna burn. Man, you lucky you're alive because I did that before I met your mama. Ooh, boy. I had to get a skin graft on that son bitch. You ever looked at it? It looks like a defunct chicken leg. Man, anyway, love you, son. Oh, anyway. Anyway, she admitted that her and the Boeing 737-800 are still friends. That's nice. So bizarre. But this is my twisted brain. So I'm reading this and like trying to wrap my brain around it. And I'm thinking, if I was ever at a Halloween party with this lady, right? Maybe she's hosting the party. Come on over. I'm hosting a Halloween party. Please dress up. You know what I'm going to be dressing up? Especially if I'm single. I'm going to be dressing up as a 737. I am. And I'm going to be like giving her the look all night long. And I'm going to be like, polishing up my wings. I don't care if this is a cloth costume. I am just constantly showing off my wings and, rubbing my nose of the plane and whatever, right? Because you know what she's going to be doing the entire night. She's going to be resisting as much as she can. But she's going to be eye fucking my winglets from across the room. She will. Okay? Be great. Great. Somebody's going to do that. If you're friends with her, that's the other thing too. How do you handle that as a friend if your friend is banging an object like that? They're banging whether it's an airplane, like, she's explaining like she gets really turned on when it comes to airplanes. Or your buddy is like banging his car or whatever. That would be very weird and very unique. I want to say in the article it said there's only like 40 known people in the planet that have this I guess mental disorder where they're highly attracted to inanimate objects. So it is unique, and it would be fascinating to speak with an individual like that, and also speak with their friends and family. Be like, how do you handle that? I'm sure it's not easy, and it can't be easy to be somebody that admits that uh, I'm sexually attracted to water bottles or something like that. You know what I mean? That would be just boy, those Stanleys, look at them. Just sitting there on the shelf, just waiting for daddy to take them home. Anyway, sir, we're going to ask you to leave Walmart again, please. You're really freaking people out. Yeah, fuck you, man. You can't keep them away from me. Okay. Okay. When you guys have a special, please. I want to be on that list. The nose. Oh, wow. Fascinating. Fascinating. Next time you see a plane flying over, if it starts to move, fellas, you know what I'm talking about. What moves? What? You know what I'm talking about. Your little Jimmy. And then you're like, maybe I'm attracted to planes. I don't know. If you are, it's hard not to judge you. Honestly, it would be hard not to judge you. But at the end of the day, an individual like that, they're not hurting anybody. Okay. I joke about it, poke fun of it, but at the end of the day, they're not hurting anybody. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But listen, I, I who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Well, actually, I am judging, but at the end of the day, if you ain't hurting anybody, you're a good person. That's it. That's all that matters. Um, I've been going on this cool journey lately where I'm giving small businesses a helping hand, and it's really fun. I'm meeting a lot of new business owners, and it's really neat because I'm giving small businesses a half off for essentially for the holidays. I know business is tight going into the end of the year, and you still want to advertise, but you're not able to because of finances. And what I'm doing, like I said, I'm giving you guys half off. And right now, I'm cutting my rates in half from now until October 31st of 2024. If you and your business commit to a 2-month trial, you could be a proud sponsor of the #1 comedy podcast in Colorado at half the cost. You're welcome. All you got to do is shoot me an email, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com, and I'll send you more details. Your company's message will be projected to the world via all audio podcast platforms, plus video on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, Twitch. With over 20 years in Denver media, you know I'm not just another podcast. I get it. I know advertising budgets can be slim. That's why I'm cutting you and your company a break. So half off sponsorship rates if you commit to a 2-month trial by October 31st, 2024. Go ahead and shoot me an email, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com, and let's get things rolling. Tua. I can never remember how to say it. Tungalolova. The Dolphins quarterback. He got another concussion the other day, and it's pretty fucking scary. It was a severe I can't speak. A severe concussion where, one arm kind of goes out and you can see his fingers, kind of curl up, and it was bad. It was bad. The decision seems to be up to him about continuing to play because at some point he's got to make that decision of, should I continue to play and put my life in jeopardy? Every time you get a concussion, it's very dangerous. And whether I guess the other way it wouldn't be up to him is if the doctors say, dude, Tua, you can't go back out there. Next hit, it could be completely life changing. And he's got to be thinking about his family. He's got to be thinking about himself. Is it really wise to go out there? He's a good football player, but it's dangerous. You're talking about your brain. You see some of these guys that battle CTE. It's a real dangerous thing. And I posted something on Twitter after this happened. I said, should he retire? And ultimately, it does seem like it comes down to between the doctors and Tua. And we can't make that decision for him. But I guess me not being in his position, I would look at it as you already made a butt ton of money. You've experienced the greatness of playing in the NFL. But honestly, what matters more at the end of the day? It's your life. Football's not going to be there forever. But your family could be with you, right alongside you. So, I would say I believe if the doctors say he shouldn't continue to play, he gets the rest of his contract, I believe, is what it is, something like that. But if he decides to retire, he doesn't. So I hope, that the doctors say, hey, don't continue to play. You can't. It's extremely dangerous. Then he gets a good payout, right? It's sad. It's sad because he would continue to play and continue to make a positive impact for that team and in the community. But it doesn't look like he should. He shouldn't. Now, I know it's a serious topic, but fuck, man, that's not why you came to tune into this. I actually have audio of Tua and Mike McDaniel talking on the sideline after the incident.
Are you all right, sir?
Fine. How have you been?
Fine, sir.
Good.
It's a good thing you were wearing that helmet.
Yeah.
What should we do now, sir?
Well, are we stopped?
We're stopped, sir.
Good. Well, why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Very good, sir.
Smoke if you got 'em.
I'm going to burn in hell for that. I'm sorry. I understand the severity of the situation. I get it. But that's pretty fucking funny. Spaceballs, man. They were talking about head injuries a long time ago. It's sad, it's scary, but that's funny. Sorry. I'll get a letter. Fuck you, DeHuff. Fuck you. You're going to burn in hell. Okay, fine. I will. Not going to argue that. Come on. Everybody knows. Everybody knows I'll be there. Continuing with sports, the CU Buffs beat in-state rival, the Colorado State Rams, after a week of the CSU Rams just talking nonstop trash. I mean, like their quarterback and their receiver saying something about, it's not about Instagram followers. Basically they got to play us and we're going to play them. It's just dumb. Right. And they're like, we'll see what Instagram followers get you. Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. They talked all this shit and then they couldn't back it up. And that's where I kind of stirred the pot after the Buffs won. And I said, that's why you shouldn't talk shit. Don't talk shit if you can't back it up. And then CSU fans were mad about that. But here's my point is I don't think people should be talking shit anyway when you play sport, because I know far too well after covering the Denver sports scene for 18 years on the radio, and then me doing this show. So it's about 21 years I've been covering Denver sports. And I'll tell you, Don't talk shit, because that tends to bite you in the ass. And it's also a bad look. And yes, the CU Buffs have been guilty at times of that as well, as far as like Shiloh Sanders and what's his nuts, Shador showing his watch to the crowd in Lincoln last year and whatever. Okay, I'm not saying do that. I agree, that's trash talking too. But what you need to do is be the bigger person and just keep your mouth fucking shut and let your play do the talking for you. That's the way I look at it. So Fowler Nicolosi, the quarterback for the CSU Rams, added on to the stupidity of them running their mouths. He scrambled for a 1 yard gain. Yeah, 1 yard gain. And I want to say they were down by like 11, roughly, something like that at the time. Then he got in Travis Hunter's face, the man that is being talked about for the Heisman, especially if the Buffs can somehow get, into a bowl game, then he's definitely in the major conversation for the Heisman Trophy, right? He plays both sides of the ball. It's insane. And he's great at both sides of the ball. So Fowler Nicolosi gets in his face after his massive 1 yard gain, starts jawing at him. And then Nicolosi does you're too small. You're so small. And like by making that gesture to Travis Hunter. Deion Sanders was asked about it after the game. And this is what he had to say.
How stupid is that? This is Travis Hunter. Dude, this is Travis Hunter. This is Travis Hunter. Like, who does that? I wouldn't allow my kids to do that. And y'all know that. And that ought to be said. But when you allow kids to sit in an interview and talk against us, and you just got beat by 50-something in week 1, come on, dog. Somebody help me here. Am I missing something? Straight up, tell me. I don't see where that's done in sports. That has to be allowed. Ain't nobody crazy enough to sit up there and say nothing like, hey, who does that?
I agree. It's childish. But I haven't seen it since. Like, people always bring up, well, Shador did that with his watch. Shiloh threw shots at Nebraska before this latest matchup. Okay, you don't hear as much jawing though from CU. I haven't seen Shador doing that with the watch shit. I'm guessing that Deion corrected that. But the thing is, CSU tried to combat what the CU Buffs bring to the table with their energy, as in their charisma that they bring with Deion ads and Shador ads and the flashiness of all that. They don't know how to handle it, so that's what they did. They just start flapping their gums, and then they get their ass beat, and it's not a good look. Again, I understand that you can go back to Shador doing that with the watch, but what has he done since? Nothing stands out to me. Okay? Now, after the game, Shador refused to shake the hands of Fowler Nicolosi. That's a little bit immature. He should have taken the high ground and shook his hand. But that being said, I've been in that type of situation where there's somebody trying to shake my hand who I don't respect at all. And I fucking hate their guts. I've been in this situation at least twice that I can remember. And they go to shake my hand, and I look at their hand, and I've said this twice. I'm not going to fucking shake your hand. And guess what? The point is taken that I don't respect them. And I don't go into further conversation. It is what it is. That's I understand he should have taken the high road. I understand I should have taken the high road when I was in those situations. But you know what? I did what I did. I own it, and I don't really regret it because it's just me being honest. And it's kind of like the old school slap somebody in the face with your glove. That was my moment. That's what I did. And in a sense, that's what Shador did to Fowler Nicolosi. So I get it. I know he should have not done it, but I understand it. And I don't hold it against him. Because sometimes there's people you just fucking can't stand. And that's Nicolosi. He's fucking annoying as shit, runs his mouth, and he acts like a little fucking bitch child. I'm sorry. He does. I look at him, and the only thing that runs through my mind is,
what a bitch.
Right. Okay? I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be judging a college student. You know what? He's a fucking adult. But and I shouldn't judge people by, their actions. But I do. I do. And you can judge me just the same. And that's okay. That's your fucking right as a human being. You can judge other people. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. But I lost a lot of respect for the CSU Rams this season. I don't, kind of like what Deion said, is like those actions have to be allowed. It's essentially taught. Like if your kid's an asshole, now I guess in a sense they could be just naturally like that. But in this setting, I mean, they're sitting down for interviews. The head coach and others have the ability to go, you know what? No. We're not using those. We're not using those. You guys are acting like little fucking children. No. So they could have stopped those. But kind of going back to what I said, like if your kid's an asshole, most likely, but not always, but most likely it's because they learned it from you or the other parent. Probably the other parent, if you know what I mean. High five. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's like that's a hard pill to swallow. Is where'd they learn that? Why are they getting away with that? Why aren't they being corrected for that? Now, that being said, if it was like a one-off thing, like they just came up and just started talking shit in a random interview, they're being interviewed on some radio station, they start talking shit, that's one thing. It's still not acceptable, but this was like a team interview thing that they set up, and they're just like talking shit. That's where I lose a lot of respect for CSU. That shouldn't have been allowed. I know it's their Hail Mary to try to combat what the CU Buffs are and what they bring to the table, which, by the way, CSU sold out the first time of their stadium. And like Deion said, I wonder why that is. Wonder why they sold out their stadium for the first time. It's the Prime effect. A bunch of people wanted to see, if you're a CSU fan, you wanted to see if the CSU Rams could beat the snot out of Deion Sanders and the CU Buffs. But guess what? There was a lot of CU Buffs fans there as well. So, listen, he moves the needle, okay? He does. But kind of going back to this whole situation, enough about CSU acting like children. You can agree with me. You can disagree with me. That's fine. But the Buffs did bounce back, and I was a little surprised about that. I thought the game would have been a little bit tighter. They did a good job of protecting Shador Sanders. I was very impressed. The offensive line did a better job. I was pleased. Now, that being said, they played CSU. So we'll see if they can do the same thing against Baylor. a better team. Okay? We'll see. If the CU Buffs go and do the same type of thing where they're protecting Shedeur Sanders, I'll be happy. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. I want to be wrong. But I said last week, I don't know if it was on social media or if it was on here, but I had more confidence in the Broncos bouncing back and doing a better job than the CU Buffs. Boy, was I fucking wrong. I was wrong. Because the Denver Broncos lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers at Mile High. Do you guys remember when Mile High was a feared place to play? If you're an opposing team, you're like, fuck, we got to go to Mile High. And the Broncos were just like, they owned anybody that came onto that field, right? Well, it's not the case anymore. It hasn't been for a bit. But now looking real quick at the numbers of the game. Yes, the Broncos lost. While the score said it was close, it wasn't close. Would they lose 13-6? No, they didn't even have a shot. Okay. Looking at the numbers, Nix was 20 of 35 for 246 yards. He averaged 7 yards per completion. Compared to last week, which was like 3.3 yards per completion, that's a lot better. No touchdowns, 2 picks. Okay, that's not good. Here's where it starts getting a little troubling. When you start comparing that they had 15 run plays called. You can add 4 more because Nix ended up running it, right? He was the leading rusher, Bo Nix was, for the team with 25 fucking yards. Javonte Williams was 11 for 17 yards. That's just terrible. I blame that on the offensive line. You got to freaking pop some holes, man. You can't run through a brick wall. And that's not surprising. I feel like the offensive line has just been trash for several years. And it just needs to get better. I meant to look it up. How many penalties did, Garrett Bowles and everybody have on the line? It seemed like it was like always there was, okay, holding, blah, blah, blah. By the way, that game would have been a lot worse if the Steelers wouldn't have kept shooting themselves in the foot with stupid penalties, right? They should have won that game. They should have. Greg Dulcich, the tight end, he didn't have a good fucking game. He had 2 drops, unacceptable. He was asked about it afterwards in the locker room. He says, it's unacceptable. I can't be doing that. You can't be, how about this? Don't throw it 35 times. Actually, you could say, since Nix ran for 4 of them and he had 35 pass attempts, so we'll just say, and he was sacked twice, so we'll add 6 to the 35. They had 41 pass plays to 15 run plays. You can't do that with a fucking a brand new quarterback. Sean Payton, man, you fucked this game up. And now you're dealing with, what does that do to the mentality of your young rookie quarterback? Well, let's start with this real quick, because one, it's funny. D-Mac from Altitude Sports asked him a very simple question.
Bo, can you take us through the interception in the end zone?
Drop back, threw it to the other team.
Right? I thought, in all honesty, because I'm cutting up the sound for Mile High Sports, and I hear that, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's going to say, what broke down, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know what? I dropped back, and I threw it to the other team. Fuck off, everybody. That's what it felt like he was doing. And then people asked him more about his confidence. Bo Nix, and he said this.
I got good confidence. I feel like, I'll continue to get better and look in the mirror and see what I can do and evaluate myself. I think it's important to look at it from a bigger perspective. Football is just a game that we come out here and have fun playing. We make it a very, very big deal because sometimes it is. There's a lot of people out there, anticipating the game and the atmosphere and wins and losses. But, I think it's important to keep good perspective and, not making football your whole entire life, because you play it long enough, it'll fail you over and over and over. It'll knock you down. It'll beat you up. And the value of playing the sport is, it's just like life. Sometimes you just got to, keep taking hits, and then eventually you'll figure it out and get back on your feet and move forward. So my confidence is, bigger than football. It's bigger than wins and losses. Now, don't make a mistake about it. I'm going out there competing my tail off, trying to win every single game for this team behind me because they deserve it. But, I feel like the confidence level is going to continue to build the more and more you play.
I do have a little bit of a problem with one thing that he said, and I can understand where he's coming from, but there's more to life than football. I get it. There is. But when you look at individuals like, say, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, I know it's not the PC thing to say, but if you want to be good, you got to eat, breathe, sleep football. You do. Just to be good. To be great, you need to find that extra level. And yes, there is more to life than football. There is. But you're getting paid millions of dollars to lead a franchise. I expect you, as the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, to be 100% locked in on football. That's it. Like, you can't get enough of it. And I know that sounds bad to say, especially coming from me, because I left a number one radio show 3.5 years ago because I needed to focus on my family. And I said, you know what? There's more to life than working at the radio station. And I walked away and started doing this so I could be more present, because it was destroying my mental ability to even have basic conversations with my family, because I was so fucking exhausted, and it was just nonstop, and so I walked away before it was too late. And still not the easiest path I could have taken, but I did what I did. So it's kind of hypocritical for me. But that being said, I was getting paid jack shit, so it made it a little bit easier for me to leave, because I was like, really? Okay. But for him, I get it. I get it. You don't want to ruin your home life for a job. But that job is putting your home life up on a pedestal. And if you want to be great and in this for the long haul, you need to give this job that so many people just beg and plead and pray for, you need to give that job 100%. Eat, breathe, sleep, shit football. Okay? That's what you need to do, Bo Nix. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but it's just true. If you want to be great, you just gotta dive all in. Okay? You do. You'll still be able to have a home life. And obviously, I'm stretching it a little bit, exaggerating it a little bit. But at the end of the day, you are all football. That's what you are. But I'm not hearing that from him. I'm not saying that he's half-assing it out there. I'm not saying he's half-assing it on the practice field. But I don't want to hear those words out of my guy that's leading my favorite franchise. I don't want to hear that. And I know that he'll stick to his guns and be like, "Look, sorry if that pisses you off." And I understand that. But I want my guy to be fully invested. I remember when I was training interns on a regular basis, and they would come in, and I would tell them all, listen, if you want to succeed in this career or any career, you can't have the distractions of a home life, ideally. I know that sounds messed up. And at the time I was when I got into this industry in media, I had just got married too. It makes it a lot more difficult. And the reason being is instead of being distracted by trying to keep a relationship strong, which if you're in a relationship, that's what you should be doing. So if you subtract that from the equation and you can only focus on your job, guess what? You're giving a lot more attention to your future, your career. That doesn't mean that at some point, once you get your feet settled and the dust has calmed down, that you can't really start, dispersing your attention elsewhere. But when you first start, you really do need to dedicate 100% to the craft, whatever the craft is. I know that's not popular to say, but it's fucking facts, guys. We're not good at multitasking. Our brains aren't really built for it. We think that we can be good at multitasking, but when you have a singular task in front of you and you're able to focus on that, you know that you do amazing at that task. When you start multitasking, you're dividing and you're not able to focus and give enough attention to anything. So that's where it's just like it's a little troubling. You need to be fully consumed. And I'm spending way too much time on this. And it's not a huge red flag, but it is something that needs to be noticed. Also, something that needs to be noticed. I'm outside talking to my neighbors last night, and my neighbor's son, Spencer, was out there, and he said something that I thought I was the only one that noticed. He said, "Did you see that Bo Nix was sacked by T.J. Watt's aura?" I'm like, "Oh my God, that's a great way to put it." Bo Nix needs to never skip leg day. I thought this dude had like some strong ass legs. I saw it twice where he barely got his shoe tapped by at least TJ Watt once. I don't know if it was him the other time, but he just falls down. I'm like, what the shit was that? And Spencer, the guy, my neighbor's son, says that. He's like in his 20s, whatever. But it's not like it's some 5-year-old. He's like, he needs to not skip leg day. That would be weird. I'd be like, that's so observant for a toddler. But that was troubling from Bo Nix. I'm not saying he's a bust at all. A lot of people are. I don't think Bo Nix is a bust. Not yet. Not yet. I know I was talking to Paul on Facebook yesterday. I said, but he did kind of improve in comparison to last week. He's like, I disagree. I don't think he did. When you look at it just by the numbers, yes. Last week, he went 26 of 42 for 138 yards, and he was 3 yards per completion. It was a mild improvement, but it was technically better. It's not anything you want to write home about, but he did improve. But guess who didn't improve? Guess who didn't improve for the Denver Broncos from week 1 to week 2? Sean Payton. Sean Payton. You had 20 planned rushing plays last week. Then, against the Steelers, you had 15 running plays. You did less. And here's what's crazy. It's not like they were down by a ton. Change up the runs if they're not working. Talk to your fucking offensive lineman. Have a come to Jesus moment with them and say, how about you fucking block? And then you can establish the run game. Get it going. Take some pressure off of Bo Nix, your rookie quarterback. They knew that the Broncos were going to pass, especially when you have so many times that you're lining up with an empty backfield. Hey, guys, we're going to pass. Okay, Steelers? Got it. Got it. Sean Payton, this loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers is on you, not Bo Nix. Not Bo Nix. There's only so much he can do. So, yes, he made a mistake and threw a interception in the end zone. Yeah, he did. But guess what? He's not the ones calling the plays and having it completely lopsided. I'm not saying it's got to be 50-50, but geez, you got to call a lot more plays on the ground than what you're doing. And the offensive line needs to step up their game, open those holes. But ultimately, it falls on the shoulder of Sean Payton. The Broncos are 0-2, and that's on him. And you know what? Play this in the fucking locker room. Because the Denver Broncos offensive line and the offense are going, I don't know why I said it that way, but the Denver Broncos offense is going to get Sean Payton fired. They need to step up their fucking game. And it starts with the offensive line. The Broncos defense kept them in the game. They did. And that's good. But they can only do so much. They need to start attacking the ball, get some more turnovers. But here's the thing. What does that fucking matter if Sean Payton's just going to do the same old bullshit play calls? So the Broncos have a lot of work to do. What do they take on the Buccaneers? The Buccaneers are going to fucking wipe the floor with the Broncos. It's what it seems like. We're going into Tampa. That's not good. I don't want to hear those fucking cannons going off. Yar, we scored again. Yar, yar, yar. I don't need to hear that. Fuck. Yeah, Sean Payton, man, you need to pull your head out of your ass and start coaching a real game. Okay, I don't know where your head's at, but it's not looking good. Okay, you got Broncos country turning on you, Sean Payton. We expect more. We deserve more. So start calling a good game. Start taking the pressure off of your young quarterback who's still trying to get his feet settled. Start calling more run games and start, trying to trick the defense a little bit. Don't make it so fucking obvious that you're going to pass. Listen, I'm an idiot. I get it. I am. But shit, man, you're not making a case for yourself to be much smarter than me because you look like an idiot out there on what you're putting out onto the field. Make me eat my words. Okay? How about that, Sean? Make me eat my words. Come out there, call a better game, and let's go win some fucking football games. Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3. Broncos! Okay? Come on. Man, the amount of people that were texting me, messaging me last night during the game, I was like, shit. Brad is like, dude, you got to rip them a new asshole, please. I'm like, I guess I can. Jesus Christ. Brad It's funny too because I was like, I guess I can. I'm like eating wings at. By the way, a good place to eat wings if you're in the North Metro area, a place called Outlaw Wings in the Thornton area. Pretty good place off 128th. I liked it. Good. But listen, I gotta be careful because the Broncos will come after me. They have before, and they don't like they don't like truth being spouted at them. Okay. I'm not like a lot of other reporters or media members that are just, trying to cradle their balls. I don't want to do that. What's the fucking point? The point is the Denver Broncos need to put a better product out onto the field. And that starts with Sean Payton. Sean, call a better freaking game. Take the pressure off of Bo Nix's shoulders. Okay? He can't be throwing the ball, 35 to 45 times a game. And I get the running game wasn't working. Well, make it work. That's your freaking job. Tell the offensive line to pull their heads out of their back ends and start blocking. Earn your freaking paycheck, offensive line. My goodness. But it starts with Sean Payton. Call a better game. Get your guys to do things that they think is impossible. Do your fucking job. Earn your damn paychecks. That's freaking annoying. And if you hear an offensive lineman ever, try to be like, it's not on me. Whatever. You need to up the offensive line. Go out there and do your freaking job. Don't be going,
I didn't do fucking shit.
I was trying to get around to it. Money, folks. Money. Yeah, I'm not very happy with the Denver Broncos. Not very impressed. I think Bo Nix, it will get better. He's slightly getting better. But the problem is things around him need to get better. You have to have a good run game if you want to have, especially for a rookie, to have a successful pass game. And it doesn't help when players are dropping balls, okay? Catch them. And it's kind of weird for somebody to say to a receiver, hey, could you catch the ball? Oh, shit. Yeah. That's what you guys want me to do when he throws the ball at me is catch it? Whew. Thanks for clearing that up. I didn't know. Sometimes I'd catch it. Sometimes I'd be like, am I supposed to? So I just drop it. Okay, I didn't know, guys. Thanks for clearing that up. I'll do that from now on. Thanks. Same thing with the offensive line. Hey, offensive line for the Broncos. You should protect Bo Nix and also open up some holes for the running back to run through. That helps. It does. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? We didn't know that. Did you know that? I had no idea. Yeah. Okay, thanks, guys. Open holes, protect the quarterback. Okay, it's good that we have a game plan now. We didn't know. We had no freaking clue. That's what it seems like, guys, when I'm looking at the Denver Broncos. Receivers don't know that they're supposed to catch. Not all of them. Sometimes. They're a little bit baffled at times. But the offensive line needs to step up their game. And Sean Payton, call a better game. Call a better freaking game. You know what? Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for all the interaction that I got on social media. You guys are amazing. So many of you. Also, I had a lot of fun with some individuals on Twitter over the weekend that were we were joking around about me donating blood. I did that yesterday, and I suggest you go out there, go ahead and save a life. And I'm O positive, and I like to. It's one of the blood types that's very needed. It's a universal blood, and if you can do it, I suggest you go out there and donate blood. It's a good feeling, especially I want to say like I did it 8 weeks ago, then I did it yesterday, and I want to say like a week or I don't know how long it was after I donated, I got a message saying, "Hey, just so you know, some of your blood was used in saving somebody's life." And I'm like, "Oh, holy shit." That made me feel so freaking good. And then they sent me a mug. I was like, "This is great. This is awesome." Listen, if you can hold your head high and say, "Hey, I helped save a life," that's great. And my wife brought up, she's like, we had a friend that passed away not too long ago. She was kept alive because of blood donations. That's something that you could be a part of, is keeping somebody alive, and so they can interact with their family. And who knows? Who knows what the situation is, but you could be a hero. And it's one of those weird things that we don't always get that feeling of saving somebody, of being a hero, not like the first responders do. It's a great opportunity for you to be a hero, is to go donate. Look into it. Maybe it's not right for you. Maybe it is. I do the whole blood donation. That's what I do. Okay. And it makes you feel good. But anyway, thanks for listening. Really appreciate you guys. Yes, we joke around about things on this show. Don't take life too seriously. Uh, life is short. Life is short. Don't get too frustrated with the Broncos. Grant, talking to you. Take a breath. Take a chill pill. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But remember, if you're starting a career, go all in. Okay, that's what you need to do if you want to be successful. But it's not, oh God, I don't even want to get back into that anyway. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys listening and watching. If you're wanting to watch me, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you can check me out on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. I got tons of people that watch me on Twitter. I'd like to get those numbers up on YouTube, because I could make money on YouTube. I just need more people to subscribe. And maybe I need to start doing this topless. I don't know. I'm already doing it pantless. What else do you guys need, you greedy bastards? Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Really appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day. Big thanks to Bet Online. Go check them out at betonline.ag. It's DeHuff Uncensored. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.